All right, guys, welcome back to the all-new dual funnel system workshop. I'm going to be running these every single Friday, 9 a.m. Pacific. This is where you can come learn more in-depth automations, learn the dual funnel system, exactly how to apply it in your business. And then obviously you can share your screen, you can ask me questions, we can dive in, and I can show you exactly where you can improve automations and operations in your own business, right? This isn't some workshop where I'm going to give you a fancy presentation and at the end I'm going to pitch you on a course. This is called a workshop because we're here to work together and get things done every single week. Now, if you want to continue, learning from us, get some more help and support, we do have the HighLevel Central community that you can join. That's where you can tap into the groups, leave comments. I will personally make how-to videos for you if it's applicable and there's not already a guide or something that I can send you to help you through whatever it is that you're working on. And so feel free to dive into the group if you want, or you can just keep coming to these for free every single Friday. Being in the group is not a requirement to join the workshop every week. These first 6 to 8 weeks of running the workshop, we're going to start with me just going through the dual funnel system. There's a lot of moving parts in it, and I want you guys to have a good solid understanding of the framework and the principles behind the dual funnel system, how it works and how you can apply it to your business. Because once you understand the framework and the principles, it really doesn't matter what tech stack you use. You can use any platforms that you want. It's just use whatever is right for you and your business. Obviously, I do a lot of builds with the HighLevel platform because the HighLevel platform is so robust and it has so many things built into it. But you can use a combination of other platforms to make this work. We've built full dual funnel systems with a single WordPress site. So it just literally depends on you, your business, and what you would like to achieve with it. Right? So let's go ahead and dive in. This first part that we're going to dive into is what I call the data map. Right? I'm going to use a tool called Figma to map it out. You can use a number of tools. There's a number of tools out there now that help you create data maps. You can use Figma, you can use Draw.io, there's Lucid Charts. Hell, you could use Microsoft Paint to do this. I've even seen some AI platforms where you can explain what you're trying to achieve and the AI will spit out a mind map or a data map for you. Right now, this is the most crucial part that I see a lot of business owners skip over because they're looking for the next shiny tool, looking for somebody to do it for them, or they're getting lost and they're trying to build systems before they have a clear understanding of the customer journey that they want to take end users on. And what happens is those shiny tools and those platforms will get you partially there, but they don't get you 100% of the way there, and you can't figure out what the hangups are, what the holdups are, just solely because you didn't spend the time to create what is the ideal customer journey. So you don't understand what's the next step or what the next step should be, and no one's going to be able to tell you this for you. Only you know the type of experience that you want to take your clients or your customers through. Right? You can meet with colleagues, you can meet with coaches, they can brainstorm with you and help you decide hey, this is an ideal customer journey. I've done that for a lot of people simply because I've built hundreds of systems now. So I've helped automate hundreds of customer journeys. And so let's go ahead and start with the mind map. And obviously the first place that we start is traffic, right? I remember when I first got started building websites and systems for people, they'd tell me, Marv, the website is beautiful.
I love the system that you built, but I'm not getting new clients.
Right? And so the reason for that is you actually have to have a traffic source where you're driving new people to your website or your systems. Otherwise, the whole thing is mute. Now, there's several different ways to drive traffic, right? You could have a website. You could have a blog that's SEO optimized. You could have funnels. You can have ads. You can have billboards. Right, you can have those little yard signs that people put up all over town. You could have business cards that you hand out to everyone. You can go to events, network with people. There's your local chamber of commerce, right? You could have sponsorships. For example, I sponsor my kids' school. Every time they do a little jog or a run or something, there's local events where I know business owners are gonna be hanging out, I'll see if I can sponsor the event, get my logo and my website on there. I sponsor my local boxing gym, so my ministry is on the front page of the boxing gym's website. We happen to hold the Bible study there every Sunday as well. And so depending on where you are at in your journey is going to depend on the type of traffic you're getting and the volume of traffic that you're getting. Obviously, paid traffic like Google ads, Facebook ads, LinkedIn, insert whatever traffic channel that you're paying for, obviously those are going to be the quickest, bringing the most ROI and take the least amount of effort, right? But some of my biggest ROI over the last almost decade of doing this has been going to events and shaking hands, because, you know, especially in this day and age where technology is out there and so saturated with everybody online promising X, Y, and Z, like sometimes it can be difficult dealing with all the people, because typically if they're checking you out, they're also checking out 10 other people online that are doing the same thing. So you have to have a unique thing about you that makes you stand out. People buy people, they don't buy products and services. If you and I hopped on stage and we gave the exact same presentation, said everything line by line, word by word, exactly the same, we'd still sell two different people at the end of the day, because people buy the people, they don't buy the product or service. And so depending on where you're at, you may or may not have capital to drive traffic, right? Now, running a website and doing a blog, follow some people that teach SEO, then you can learn how to SEO optimize your blog, your website, and what you're doing. That could drive organic traffic. Now, SEO does take a few months of consistency before you see the uptick in traffic, but it's kind of a long game when you're doing SEO. Create consistent content on social media. I released a blueprint. It's called Big Marv's Blueprint. You can just go to bigmarvsblueprint.com, download it for free. It's also the entire guide with all 78 videos are available in the HighLevel Central community. It's on my YouTube. So it basically teaches you how to build a social media presence over the course of 100 days, where you can get consistent sales and people reaching out to you through posting content on social media, right? Check out local events, you know, so if you're a personal trainer, for example, go to the local 5K or 10K or marathons. Look for fitness events that are in your area that you can get to, right? Because if they're there doing a marathon publicly or doing a fitness event publicly or running a 5K, chances are they take their health seriously, and they may or may not have a coach already, but, you know, start shaking hands, telling people you're a personal trainer. Maybe you can start hosting your own little classes. I have a trainer I was working with out of Miami, and he does these things where they go out on the beach. It's free, people can show up, and he just does a quick body weight workout with people on the beach. You can start hosting those own type of events for yourself. If you're a guy like me where you do automation, my local library here, it's like $50 to rent a conference room for the entire day. And so then I'll put up an online event. We can put it on Facebook, get people interested in showing up, and it's a free event where I can host a workshop just like this, teach people things, and then I typically get 30 to 40% of people that show up to that free event that I host converting into longtime clients or customers. So there's many different ways that you can get creative to drive your traffic here initially, until you're at a place where you have enough revenue that it makes sense for you to hire like an ad agency. Now, if you guys have never contemplated that, to give you a good rule of thumb, you want to be spending 10 to 15% of your gross revenue on your marketing expenses, right? So if you're at 10K a month, for example, you should be spending $1,000 to $1,500 a month on your marketing efforts. Now, to hire a good media buyer that's going to run ads for you, their retainer alone is going to be like $1,000, $2,000, $3,000. You know, I have colleagues in the game that charge $10,000 a month to run ads for people. And so, but on average, you're looking at paying $1,000 to $3,000 a month for a retainer for a decent media buyer, right? But then on top of the retainer, you got to have the ad spend, right? So if you're only at 10K a month, it doesn't make sense from a business perspective to let me hire that agency, right? Because now you're going to be operating at a negative margin, just trying to get feet in the door. And there's other ways that you could spend that $1,000 to $1,500 to drive up customers to get you to that $15,000, $20,000 a month, to where now it makes sense to hire out the media buying. And so just keep that in mind when you're trying to decide what's the best traffic channel for your business. Now, after traffic, now they're going to see, right? So what's the first thing you want them to see? Now, for me, me, the dual funnel system is my core offering. It's my flagship product that I introduce everyone to, and I give it away for free. Like I said, it's all my training on YouTube. It's all free. And the reason why I do that, you don't see a lot of guys like me doing this. Like most people's flagship products, they'll have some sort of webinar or presentation or what have you to give you some insights on why you would want to use it, but they're not going to give you the technical breakdown of implementing it without buying some sort of course or something. I wanted to do things different. I've always operated like this. I've gotten some flack in the industry about being the guy giving away $10,000 builds right on YouTube, because I was able to leave a good six-figure job at Microsoft and create a life of freedom for myself, just learning these tools and learning these processes and teaching them to others. I want anyone in the world to be able to replicate my efforts and what I've done for themselves without capital being a big issue. I remember that was a big issue for me there in the beginning. I'm like, I can't afford a $5,000 course. I can't afford a $3,000 event. I can't afford a $10,000 mastermind, right? And so I wanted to break that mold and give away my flagship product, because especially now, right, with AI, hundreds of people out there with content, hundreds of courses, like with so many options available, anything that you want to do, like all it takes is your time, effort, and energy to get out there and make it happen, right? That's exactly what I did. Like when I first left Microsoft, I was just popping videos on YouTube every single day, watch me build this funnel, watch me build this automation, watch me automate this business, watch me build this website. This is how you do it. Then I'd have people messaging me saying, Marv, I don't know how the fuck you did that in 40 minutes, but I've been banging my head on a desk for 4 hours and I can't figure it out. How much for you to do it for me, right? And so like that's how my journey got started. It didn't cost me anything. I was sitting around at home anyways, so I was just like, let's get myself a webcam. I didn't even have a mic yet. I was using the crappy mic that was built into the webcam. Like if you go look at my YouTube early 2017, you'll see like the terrible videos that I was putting out back then, but they were working. They were getting people brought to me. And so you just got to think of like, what's that first thing you want people to see? This could be a workshop like this one that you guys are attending, a webinar, it could be get a free estimate, it could be download a guide. You know, maybe you came up with a PDF or a book you want people to download, free book, a call. Maybe you just want to go straight into book a call with me, right? And this is obviously going to depend on your business and how you operate. If you're a local service provider, you're likely going to be doing a free estimate or booking a call. That's what I've seen convert the most for local service providers. I have seen other service providers where they have like the free guides, right? Like a roofer might have a free guide on how to care for your new roof, right? Or how to get the most out of your new roof, or how to tell you need a new roof, or how to clean your gutters well, right? So it just depends on you, the presence you want to portray online. Do you want to be the roofer that's teaching people how to keep their roofs clean and keep their gutters clean and basically improve the overall property value of their house? And then that way you're the expert that they call when they say, okay, I think it finally just needs to be replaced. I did everything he taught me. I think it just needs to be replaced, because you taught them how to inspect the roof, how to do all these other things. Same with pressure washing, carpet cleaning, painting. If you're a mechanic, you could have little videos teaching people how to change their spark plugs, how to change their battery, how to detail their car without messing up the electronics in their dashboard, things to look for, what different clicks and things like that mean. There's so many ways that you can offer front-end value around your expertise that people are on YouTube and on Google searching for these things every day. But if you're the type of person where you're like, I don't want to do all of that, then you probably just want to drive people to booking an estimate or getting a free estimate or booking a call, which is fine. Again, that's why I say this is the most important part, because only you understand what you want to do, how you want to be represented online, and what is that customer experience you want people to go through. Next is like, okay, they opted in for the workshop, right? Or they opted in for a free book or whatever else. What does the back end of that look like, right? Do you want to give them a phone call, right? Do you want to leave them a voicemail? Do you want to send them a text message? Do you want to send them an email, right? Do you want to send them an email sequence? So for example, all of you that opted into this workshop, right? You got a confirmation email as soon as you registered. And then leading up to the event, we have 2-day reminder, a 1-day reminder, a 10-minute reminder. And here after the event, you're going to be like, here's the 1 day later, here's the 2 days after. And then a week later, I'm going to say, hey, it's been a week. Have you done anything that I taught you on the workshop? And so if you have a free guide, right, your sequence might look like, here's the new guide that you just downloaded. And then the next day you might say, let's dive into lesson 1. I want to walk you guys through how to use this. There's some people that they lose that opportunity there because it was just like, here's your free guide, and then they never talk to them again. Think about the end user and what is that experience going to be like for them when they go through it, right? Like if you were downloading that guide, how long would it take you to read it, digest what it was saying, understand it, and then if there's actionable steps, hopefully there's actionable steps, then like how long would it take you to implement and do those actionable steps? You want to get into the mind of your avatar, whoever's downloading and participating, and get them through it, right? I'm going to add challenge here too, because challenge is another big front end that we've helped a lot of people deploy. So for example, a 21-day challenge with a fitness guy, maybe there's plans on macros, plans on how to work out, plans on monitoring your health and weight through the 21-day challenge, right? Because the idea is whatever this is, it's going to help them see that you're the expert that can help them solve X problem, right? Whether that solving X problem is a new roof or clean carpets or a clean car, better health or more revenue in their business, whatever it is, it has to showcase you as the expert and being able to deliver a solution to that problem. That's all running a business is you're the person coming up with the solutions for all the problems that people have either in their life or in their business. And so take time to spin and say, what does that experience look like, right? And then what is the next step? So once they've gotten your free thing and they've gone through the sequence, what are the natural things, the call to actions you can have them do throughout this sequence to get them closer to the goal, doing whatever the next step is, right? So that next step could be, again, booking a call with you, right? It could be buying a product, it could be buying a service, it could be course, right? There's so many variables out there. It could be merchandise, right? Maybe maybe you have a book and then you have t-shirts and hats to go with it. I don't know, I'm just throwing things out there. Maybe it's joining your group. So like if you guys noticed after you registered for the workshop, I offered you to join my community that is a low ticket offering. It's $97 a month, right? And so throughout this sequence, we talked about the community. I talked about what's in the community, how you can gain access to it, what we're going to be teaching, right? So you basically want to showcase like, hey, this was step 1. You've gone through all the things you're going to get out of step 1. If you want to progress in this journey with me, then I highly recommend you joining the group. That's how you're going to get the most bang for your buck, right? Whatever it may be. And then once they opt into that, you want to think about, again, what's that journey look like, right? So for example, when somebody joins my group, I send them a free gift. I send them a handwritten like welcome letter and a thank you card. I send them some big Marv merchandise, and you know, I offered to book a one-on-one call with them for free to get, and I charge $1,000 an hour typically to hop on a Zoom and consult, but I give that away for free to show the members in my new group that I care about them and I want to help them succeed. And I know figuring this stuff out, especially if you've never done it before, can be quite the burden or an obstacle, which is why so many business owners don't go through doing this step first. They want to find a shiny toy or a course or something that's going to eliminate this part, but I'm telling you, it just doesn't exist out there. There's a lot of systems and things out there that might be pretty similar to your business that will help you get started quicker, right? Like that's the idea of the dual funnel system. You get it and it's got all these framework pieces in it, but you still have to go through that framework and modify it to fix your unique needs, your unique business. And so you might find those things that'll help you get closer to the goal or help you figure these things out quicker, because maybe you're a roofer and you're copying the system that another roofer put in place to scale their roofing business. But you're going to want to modify all that communication. He might be texting an extra time more than you want to text, or maybe he's not texting enough and you want to be more on top of the customers and you want to follow up more. Maybe you want to be more aggressive or less aggressive, right? So that just depends on you and how you want that back end to look like. So the next step is to there. Now, hopefully the end of that next step is now you've converted into X, Y, or Z, right? Now, maybe you've joined the group, or maybe they bought the new roof, or maybe they bought the merchandise, or whatever it may be. Now comes the fulfillment side, all right? What does that fulfillment look like? So for example, selling the group. I was just explaining to you guys, we have the HighLevel Central group, right? And so for me, I'm kind of mapping that out. This is a brand new group. And so I have announcements here. This is whenever there's any new things, I'll start that. We have start here and rules where I welcome people, right? I tell them step 1, here's how to access, call replays, etc. All right, I'm kind of mapping out, this is what it's going to be like when you're in the group. Then they can go into the learning tab, they can go through the courses here, right? They can go to the events and see the workshops, whatever it may be. So you want to think of what is next step, or what's that next experience you want them to go through, right? If they purchased a new roof, how do you want your team to greet them? What's the automations or messages that you want them to receive leading up to your tech showing up to their house, right? And then once the tech finishes the job and leaves the house, what is that experience? Do you want them to get before and after photos? Do you want to send them a gift thanking them for the opportunity to serve them, right? What does that fulfillment process look like for you? Again, it's going to break down into how are you communicating? What are the other things you're throwing in? Past fulfillment. These are the little things, right, that are going to help you retain these clients and customers for a long time, because you've essentially changed their life, their view on the industry, and how people should operate. And so once you've determined how do you want to fulfill that, right? Like, I'll give you guys an example of a free gift. There's a company online called Chewy, right? This is, if you're a pet owner, this is where you can automate getting free food, or not free, but food, treats, everything you need for your pet delivered on your house, to your house every month on a schedule, right? Now, what's something that happens with pet owners? Their dogs die, right? Or their cats die, or whatever it may be. They might not need the food anymore. So they get that bill, and then they're like, damn it, I gotta cancel this automated dog food, right? So now Chewy, when you call to cancel, then the next day you get flowers and a card showing up to your house saying, we're sorry for your loss. All right, we canceled the dog food, etc. Now that person has that memory in their mind forever. Now, most dog owners, if their pet died, most of the time they're going to get another dog, right? And now, because of that incredible experience that Chewy delivered post-fulfillment, they're most likely going to go back to Chewy. And what's the best part about that? They're going to tell all their friends and family about it, right? Which is the next part after fulfillment, is client retention, reviews, and referrals. So this is like, how do you keep people coming back, using your service, and then telling everyone they know about it, right? And so for a lot of people, they haven't even thought of this part of their system, because they collect the money, they do the job, and then they try to find the next job, and then they're scratching their head wondering, like, how can I get out of this vicious cycle of always needing to find new deals every month, right? You have a list of 3,000 people. There's this thing in the industry called database reactivation, right? And the reason why it's so popular and it works so well is because most of the service providers or people, right, they're running this part really well. They're getting leads in, and maybe they fulfill the service for that lead, right? I can't tell you how many service providers I've worked with where they literally have thousands of people in their database that they never contacted after they did the job. They didn't ask them to leave a review. They didn't ask them, how was the service? They didn't ask them, do you have any other friends or family or businesses that could use this service? So it's like a huge low-hanging fruit that you can use to drive new revenue into the business. And this is why a lot of agencies will churn, for example. Most agencies agencies, they will get a new client, and in the industry, most agencies operate on 90-day contracts, right? So every 90 days, they're typically not retaining people for longer than 90 days. And so the reason for that is because once they got the deal, they stopped focusing on client retention and how can I make this person so happy with me over the next 90 days that they want to renew again at the end of 90 days, right? So take a look at what does that back end look like? Do you need to give them reports? Do you need to give them photos? Do you need to have weekly calls with them? And do you need to put them on a regular schedule? Right? Do you need to call them every week and just say, hey, how are you doing? How are you liking the service? Obviously, there's going to be a lot of variables to this depending on what type of business that you run. But again, we're just discussing framework and how you can apply this to any business, right? Because every single business out there needs client retention, reviews, and referrals. So think about, how are you serving your client? Is customer service at the top of your priority list when you're running your company? Right? How do people greet, or how do you greet people when they call you? How quickly do you respond to emails? How quickly do you respond to text messages? How quickly can you solve whatever problem they're dealing with? Because I promise you, if you increase your customer service and treating these people like they're gold, then they're gonna love you for it, and they're not gonna go anywhere. And then obviously deliver on the thing that you sold them. If you're making crazy promises, then honor it. Act with integrity. Now, we're human. Things happen in life, things happen in business. Right now, I'm developing an app for, I think I'm 5 or 6K deep. It's been 3 months we're working on it, and I haven't asked the client for any additional money. I haven't asked them for anything. I just committed to, like, hey, we can figure out this problem. Give me a chance to figure out the problem. And so we've been developing this app. It launches in a week or two, and then that's turning into a good partnership, right? And so if you say something, see it through to the end, make it happen, and then treat that customer well while you're going through the process. And then once you're done, ask for a testimonial video, ask for a Google review, ask for a Facebook review, wherever it is that you're sending people to, like, look at your portfolio or whatever it is that you have online. Make sure you're consistently asking for those reviews. Most people will give you reviews. Most people will give you testimonials. You just have to ask for it because it's not on the forefront of their mind. And then also referrals, right? Asking for a referral when they've given you a great review, they probably have other friends, business owners, colleagues that could also utilize your service. So make sure you're asking for those referrals. And if you are asking for a referral, what does that process look like? Is it a simple text message? Is it an email? Is your team calling them and asking for it, right? Do you have some sort of offering, right? For a lot of businesses we've built referral systems for, it's like, hey, tell a friend about us, and if they become a client, we'll coffees on us for the next month. We'll send you a $100 gift card, or we'll send you a $50 this or that, or $100 off your next service, or whatever the case may be. Think of incentives that you could potentially use, or free gifts that you could potentially use to increase those referrals. You can't offer gifts for reviews. I'll never stand behind that. Like, when you ask for reviews and testimonials, you don't want to prompt what they say. You want them to be genuine. How is the experience or service? And then look for opportunities to improve, right? If you get a bad review, that's your opportunity to improve. So take that feedback seriously and see where are the weak links in your system. Now, once you've mapped out where are you getting people from, and then once you got the people, what does it look like to utilize your service, get your service, and then bring other people into the fold? Once you have a very clear understanding of this and how you want those follow-ups to look, how you want those levers to function when you pull them, then you're ready to dive in and actually, now what's the best piece of software, or what's the best system that I can use to deliver this? Now, clearly there's plenty of options out there for you to utilize, but I think dial in, get this part figured out first, then we can go through what are some of the best platforms that are going to help you with this tech stack. Now, I'm going to show you how to build all of this out utilizing the HighLevel platform, but again, it doesn't really matter what tech stack you use. It just matters more that you know what actions need to happen. That way you can pick a tech stack that enables you to achieve all of those things that you added to the back end that you want to happen at each stage or each phase of that customer journey. All right. And so that's it for this first training. I just want to thank you guys so much for tuning in, so much for watching. Hopefully you got something out of it. If you did, please leave a comment below. I'll respond to all of your comments. This is Big Marv. Thank you guys. One love.